Prairies in Iowa are actually pretty hard to find, even though our state was once covered in them. Remnant prairies are the ones that are the hardest to find because they're the originals. They've been here for thousands of years. Remnant prairies have hundreds of different kinds of plants. The largest remnant prairies in Iowa are in the Luss Hills. Smaller remnant prairies can be found in old graveyards or ditches and scattered in patches across the state. Reconstructed prairies are made by humans who purposely chose seeds to be planted to grow into prairies. It can take hundreds of years for a reconstructed prairie to grow and mature enough to be like a remnant prairie. Why do you think it's important to reconstruct a prairie? And how do you even do it? Let's go investigate. This is a reconstructed prairie. What does that mean?
That means the prairie was gone from here, probably farmed,
okay,
in like most areas in Iowa. And we decided to put it back into prairie, so we bought some seeds, we harvested some seeds with the combine, and we replanted it. With prairie, the origin of the seed is important because you don't want to take seed from Oklahoma and plant it here.
Oh, sure.
It doesn't grow right. It grows earlier and it doesn't produce seed and all kinds of things.
May even be invasive?
Right,
okay,
right. So we get seed locally and we can do that with a combine, and that seed is well adapted to this area, and that's why it does well here.
Why is it important to reconstruct a prairie?
Well, in Iowa, over 99.9% of the prairie is gone, and so one of the ways we can help it is to replant it, and that's what reconstructions are all about.
So how does the diversity of plant life in this prairie, where you picked all the seeds and planted them, how does that compare to a remnant prairie where those plants have been there forever?
This prairie has maybe, I don't know, 75 to 100 species, which is a pretty good reconstruction. But a good remnant prairie may have 250 species, so it's, you know, it's maybe half.
There's one more reconstructed prairie I want to investigate with you today. Let's go. About a 3-hour car ride from Union Slough is this, a tallgrass prairie at Neil Smith Wildlife Refuge. This is also a reconstructed prairie. People have worked really hard to bring this land back to prairie. So Karen, what was this area before it was reconstructed to prairie?
Before the refuge was here, it was farmland, just like most of Iowa.
Sure, so you've done a lot of work here to bring this back. Tell me about that work.
Yeah, we have planted prairie seeds, and we do a lot of work after it's planted too, with just trying to control the weeds and burning. Burning benefits the prairie because it removes all the dead vegetation and stimulates new growth of the prairie plants.
Tell me about the work that's involved in getting the seeds and planting them.
We get seeds from an area of Iowa that is close to the refuge. Mostly, it's a pretty big area. It's about 38 counties in southern Iowa. We decided that we wanted to concentrate on the local area because the plants are adapted to the conditions we have here, the soil type and the weather.
Why is it so important to reconstruct a prairie?
Well, bringing back the prairie helps with the native wildlife, with the plants. It gives us a place to go and experience prairie.
Will your work here ever be done?
Probably not. It's going to go on for hundreds of years.
Iowa prairies appear in lots of shapes and sizes. Some are old, some are new, Some are huge and some are small. But one thing's for sure, they are an important part of our history. What is one thing that you can do right now to make sure that our state's prairie is also an important part of our future? Keep investigating and have fun!
Funding for Find Iowa has been provided by the following supporters.